Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hunters of all ages and monsters of all stages, DB Sinclair and J Party here with the Wraith and the third team of hunters. I'm excited, J Party, to see what happens here.
Absolutely, DB. This is our newest squad we just revealed, as well as our newest monster here, and we're going to see some cool abilities and some neat tricks coming out of both sides of this game here.
J Party, this is the Wraith, and she is a sneaky little assassin type character. You're going to see her using some abilities called a decoy, a warp blast, supernova, and abduction. But before we get to that, let's see this team of hunters coming in from the dropship.
Absolutely, here and doing their trademark dive in from the skies here. We'll see if they get in any spots on the monster, and look at that, startled birds right off the bat here, and that's a big win here, as that rain, the dynamic weather we've mentioned earlier, is going to greatly reduce a lot of the vision that they have on this map. So having an early indicator of the monster's direction is a huge win for this squad.
Especially with the Wraith, as she has that decoy ability which allows her to create a copy of herself and then go invisible. It makes her really hard to find. So you see the hunters here using their abilities already to try and track the monster and get her locked down. You saw that acceleration field from Kyra. This is now Abe using that tracking dart pistol to track darts into the wildlife, which then if the monster eats them, the monster will be tracked as well.
Yeah, great tool to mark an area and keep it locked down once you've moved on and left the zone to know if the monster has gotten behind you somehow. And look at that, they finally get eyes on the Wraith. We'll see if they get an early catch with this arena. This can be such a big win for the hunters if they can get a stage 1 monster.
Look at it, and no, it doesn't go for the arena. J Party, seeing that the Wraith is just on the cusp of the range of the arena, gonna put that away and sees the Wraith coming back. Is that the Wraith, J Party, or is that just the decoy? Decoy it is, hunters on the move.
And I like what the Trapper did there, taking it slow, keeping his patience, knowing that it might not be the real Wraith, and he's right, it wasn't, so they're right back on the trail here of the real monster, but they need to catch up to him. He's just on the cusp of the mobile arena zone.
Good work by the Trapper to not waste that mobile arena, as it does have a pretty big cooldown. You're seeing the Wraith using that decoy ability to send the decoy out to do her dirty work for her. The decoy goes out and will attack and do massive damage to anything near it. That's wildlife or hunters the same, and at the same time the Wraith goes invisible. Neat little trick, J Party.
Absolutely, a very cool ability with a lot of functions, both offensive and defensive here, but the hunter's so close now. Looks like Cabot got eyes on the monster just as she's going in a cocoon, and this could be a huge catch for the hunters. They definitely want to get on the monster before she comes out of this cocoon.
Yeah, they can catch up to her, as it looks like they did. They could do damage, as you see Cabot using that rail cannon to do a little damage of his own. The team leader leading the team into the firefight here does pop that cloak, though, to get away from those wild trap jaws.
And the monster coming out of that cocoon with no armor. This is a huge win for the hunters. They need to dish the damage out while they can here. A very exposed monster. Oh, but here comes that supernova, and this is going to be the huge damage the monster needs to try to take down the Trapper and bring that arena down with him.
Doing a great job of chaining those abilities there. Used abduction to take the Trapper away from the rest of the group, and then pop that supernova to try and do damage. The damage dealer on the other side, though, is Parnell. Parnell using that super soldier ability to have extra damage of his own. And finally, the medic getting singled out from the Wraith here, as you see another supernova attack, and the medic could go down at any moment, and there she does.
Yeah, good play by the monster, singling out the medic. That's what you need to do. Stay focused. Ooh, look what he did there. He used that, using the decoy to distract the team while he stealths behind another character and goes for the pounce attack.
Nice sneak pounce. Wraith not the only one with invisibility. As you know, the support class has that group ability to cloak everybody around as he goes in for the res on the medic. Looks like he's going to get her back up, and he does, but the support down on just a bit of health and not enough heals from the medic to keep support in the game.
The Wraith getting so low in this fight, though, down below 2 bars of health, and I like this decision. She's staying real passive here. Knows the arena's coming down, and there it goes. This is her escape time. She needs to get out of this fight, regroup, get some more armor, and then bring the fight back at stage 3.
Clever move to sit on the edge of the arena and wait till it was done, and there she goes. That's going to be another decoy. Nicely done to send that back to the hunters as she moves on forward. Hunters on the move here with that acceleration field, working their way through the caverns here. And oh no, look out, that's a Megamouth, J Party. Megamouth taking the Trapper into his gullet before the team finally gets there. But that's a waste of some serious abilities on the hunter team.
Yeah, huge time sink there, getting caught by that Megamouth. They can be very hard to spot, as they look like just a pile of rocks when they're not aggroed. Unfortunately for the hunters, that's going to greatly slow them in this fight, and they need to catch the Wraith before she can get to stage 3. Still has a long way to go on this journey.
I love it, J Party. Keep it a G-rated for the kids, a pile of rocks. I've called the Megamouth a pile of other stuff before. Those nasty creatures come out of nowhere. nowhere.
Absolutely can end your game when you're not expecting it as a hunter. That's why you have to be so aware of your surroundings and really make note of the wildlife in your area.
And that's what the Wraith is doing as she moves through the map. She's keeping note of what's around here. She's using that decoy to help her take out some of the wildlife. So by the time she's killed and eaten one tasty 3 meat, there's a tasty 2 meat waiting next door.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about the perks here. We're looking at our Hunter Squad. In the top right section of your screen, you see that move speed perk on Kyra here, and that's a really effective ability for the hunters. It allows you to really keep on the monster and keep him tracked here. Looking back at our Wraith here in the top right, you see the ability cooldown perk, and that is absolutely one of my favorites, DB. Allowing you to fire those moves off 50% quicker is such a huge win in team fights.
Hunter's on the move. You've seen support there. That's Cabot with that cloak. Oh, but he's not going to be able to hide from the plant. The plant, in fact, is not moving. How embarrassing. Cabot to the plant. On the move there is Parnell trying to get Cabot out, and he does. He's going to need a raise after that, Jay Party.
Oh, and at the same time, the monster hits stage 3. Such a brutal exchange for the hunters that have to double back to get their last squad member out of that plant, and now they're dealing with a final staged up Wraith.
Wraith on the move. Let's see if the Trapper can find the Wraith. And look, there she is, Jay Party, trying to get that dart into her, but she snatches the Trapper. Nicely done. Who's hunting who at this point, Jay Party, as the Trapper is down to just a tiny bit of health, and the Trapper goes down.
Doing this best he can to stay alive here until the rest of his team gets there, and they do. Thankfully, he didn't get knocked out of this fight completely, and hopefully Kyra can get him back in, as she does there.
Meanwhile, the Trapper did a great job of tracking with the dart gun, so the Wraith is visible to the rest of the team. That's going to be crucial in this fight here. But the Trapper being focused again, the Wraith trying to get the Trapper down to 2 strikes, and the Trapper goes down.
Oh, the support, they're trying to use that damage amp weapon, but with the rest of the team not firing, he's not getting a lot of utility out of that ability.
As you mentioned before, Jay Party, that ability cooldown bonus on the Wraith, so crucial right now, being able to switch between those abilities back and forth, running into the fight, and being able to pop that supernova and do massive damage every few seconds.
Getting some really efficient supernova damage there, hitting at least 2 of the hunters at once there. That's not what you want. You cannot stay grouped here, as the Assault getting very low on health.
Very low on health is the Assault, but Kyra's in. She has a lot of heals at her disposal with that healing grenade launcher and the healing burst. But you can see the Wraith again on the supernova doing big time damage, trying to take the medic down to 2 strikes, and the medic is down, Jay Party. Let's see if they can get her back up and back into the fight. That could be the difference maker right now.
Medic down, but the Wraith at 1 hit point. He does not have a lot of steam left in this fight. With 3 hunters still up, they're just laying on the damage. But look at these supernovas, nearly endlessly with that ability cooldown.
Oh! Trapper tried to get the medic up, but the body was snatched with the abduction. Back in with the decoy, and the Wraith wins!
Evacuating a whole colony in 5 days? This is nuts.
Come on, we've been in worse scrapes. Maybe.
Things don't always go according to plan, Parnell.
Yep, and that is why we have medics.
Just glad I'm not in charge of this bunch of lunatics.
Careful, Parnell. I'll retire one of these days.
And give up all this fun? Like hell you will.
Little advantage for everyone.
Found its trail.
Healing field's charged.
Hide it now.
Hello. Watch yourself. Mega Mouth here.
Clear that threat. Carry a bird. Damn thing can't be far away.
Acceleration. Woo!
Look what we got here. Those man-eating plants.
Come on again. Healing burst. Love it.
Not feeling too hot. Let's see you ghost away and
Healing field's ready.
Armor's gone. Let's kill it before it feeds. Amplifier prep. All damage amplified, people. Let's hope we're gonna figure out what this thing does. All weapons.
Evacuating a whole colony in 5 days? This is nuts.
Come on, we've been at worse scrapes. Maybe.
Things don't always go according to plan, Parnell.
Yep, and that is why we have medics.
Just glad I'm not in charge of this bunch of lunatics.
Careful, Parnell. I'll retire one of these days.
And give up all this fun? Like hell you will.
advantage for everyone.
Found its trail.
Scavenger bird.
Taking out some of the local whatever. Wraith, right in front of me.
Tag that area. Take the shot, team.
Hello!
Clearing a threat. Things don't always go according to plan, Parnell.
Yep, and that is why we have medics.
Just glad I'm not in charge of this bunch of lunatics.
Careful, Parnell. I'll retire one of these days.
And give up all this fun? Like hell you will.
Little advantage for everyone.
Found its trail.
Scavenger bird. It can't be far away.
Taking out some of the local... whatever. Wraith, right in front of me.
Tag that area.
Take the shot, team.
colony in 5 days. This is nuts.
Come on, we've been in worse scrapes. Maybe.
Things don't always go according to plan, Parnell.
Yep, and that is why we have medics.
Just glad I'm not in charge of this bunch of lunatics.
Careful, Parnell. I'll retire one of these days.
And give up all this fun? Like hell you will.
Little advantage for everyone.
Found its trail.
Scavenger birds. You can't be far away.
Taking out some of the local... whatever. Wraith, right in front of me. Try hiding now.
Tag that area. Take the shot, team.
Hello!
Clearing a threat. Yeah! Armor's gone! Let's kill it before it's me!
If that's I don't know what you think.
That's a special little fuck you. Charge ready.
Healing field charged.
Come on, smarty pants, look at me.
It's here.
That beast! You will not get away!
Maggie is the new Trapper character, and the way that she differs from the previous Trapper character, Griffin, is that she does have some new abilities, but she also does have her companion pet Trapjaw, Daisy. Maggie's going to use Daisy to actively hunt down the monster.
Watch Daisy. Follow her.
Where Griffin had to place sound spikes down and hope that the monster ran through the sound spikes, Daisy will actually take off after the monster's tracks and even do so much as cut the monster off.
This isn't the first time we've hunted monsters, is it, girl?
Maggie's also got harpoon traps. So as opposed to Griffin, who's got a harpoon gun, Maggie can plant these traps in the ground that can just stay there, and when the monster passes by that area, he gets ensnared.
In a defensive situation, she can lay those traps around her teammates to create a barrier, but she can also use them to cut off the monster's escape.
Lazarus is the biggest threat. You have the ability to bring people back from the dead.
Arise!
For Lazarus, it feels very powerful, but also the monster really doesn't like you and really tries to single you out. So you have to be patient and have to wait for that moment when you can cloak and go in and bring that guy back.
Going invisible.
Val she's our medic that is sort of very straightforward, right? She's got a medic gun. She points the medic gun at the guy that needs healing, and he gets healed. Lazarus tends to hang back a bit. He has to be very careful not to expose himself.
When you're playing as a monster strategically, you're looking for Lazarus. You want to take him down first because you know he's the key to winning any game that he's in.
Hyde is a salty dog. He's crass, uncouth, and he just brings the pain.
Suck on this, you bastard!
He's got a flamethrower, he's got a chain gun, one in each hand, and he can just switch between them, do massive damage. But he's got to be up close.
Say monster's hiding in a cave, Hyde can throw in a toxic grenade. It makes poison gas inside the cave and it flushes the monster out.
I really like Markov. He's got his great mines that he can throw out, kind of control the field. But pound for pound, you gotta take Hyde in when you want to get right in the monster's face and just take him to town.
Bucket is our new support class hunter. Whereas Hank was a little more defensive and passive, Bucket's extremely aggressive.
I've got a rocket launcher. Might as well use it.
He's got a pretty funny British accent, which just sets him apart from everybody else. And he's a robot on top of it all.
Detaching my head for recon. Please do not be alarmed.
He can pull his own head off, and it's got little jets on the bottom of it, and he can fly it around, and he can actually tag the monsters for the rest of the hunters on his team to help them track him early on. And then he's also got sentry guns, which he can deploy.
So Hank, he protects his team in a very defensive way. He directly shields somebody who's under attack. Bucket also protects his team, but he does it in an offensive way. So it's kind of cool because That's what support's supposed to do, find ways to protect the team, but they're doing it in completely different ways.
Apparently, I'm pretty good at this.
The Dam is a new map that we're showing people.
The Dam is a desert environment, so there are a lot of caves, a lot of twisting caves. It's a little more vertical than the other maps we've shown, and there's also a lot of very tight enclosed spaces. One of the things that's really going to stand out to a lot of people is that the wildlife in the Dam is a lot more aggressive than they've seen before.
Oh dear!
Mega Mouth, not a rock. I think you voided your warranty.
There are mega mouths, which will go out and grab hunters and eat them whole. There are dune beetles, which will attack hunters, but they'll also feed on the wildlife. So in a way, the monster is going to be competing for food with a lot of the wildlife on the map.
Okay, let's kill this thing fast.
The hunters and the monster, they're going to be fighting the environment just as much as they're going to be fighting each other.
Oh boy, this is going to be a fight!
Evolve is an asymmetrical, cooperative, competitive, multiplayer action shooter, or 4v1, coming to Xbox One February 10th. Set on the savage planet of Sheer, Evolve plays out as a series of epic boss battles, where the boss is a player-controlled monster. Today, we would like to share with you the new map, the Distillery. With dynamic snowstorms, large altitude changes, and secret waterfall routes, this compact battleground is full of options for both hunters and monsters alike. Let's jump in a match already in progress to show you how a new map and mixing the hunters changes the game for both sides.
DB Sinclair and J Party here, jumping right into the action in our new map, Distillery.
All right, folks, and we are looking at a game well underway here. We are following a Stage 2 Kraken as he gets the final tasty meats he needs to get to this final level, Stage 3. And boy, does he need it, DB Sinclair. That health bar at the top of your screen looking real low.
Very low health, J-Party, but full armor allows him to get away. Here are the hunters focusing on some local wildlife. This map, no different from the others we've shown before. The local wildlife could take you out just as easily as a monster.
Yeah, so important to be delicate around this environment here. You never know when you'll get caught out. And there we go, this monster getting that evolve. He's going to make it to Stage 3. In that cocoon now, selecting his final abilities. This is so important for him to select good abilities. The final encounter will be happening soon.
And here come the hunters led by Hank on support. You're seeing a lot of the verticality of this map here. Also to note, here on the Distillery, snowstorms will occasionally come in. That can wreak havoc for hunters and monsters alike.
Yeah, the hunters catching up to the monster here. We'll see if they get that trap at the mobile arena. And there it goes down here. This will be the final stand for one of the squads.
Here we go, J Party doing big damage as the monster. And as you can see here, ladies and gentlemen, we are mixing and matching hunters. In the game of Evolve, you always need Assault, you always need Trapper, Medic, and Support. But within that, you're able to mix and match characters like you're seeing here. We've got Hank and Support, Griffin on Trapper, and here comes Lazarus with the Lazarus device as the Medic.
Yeah, getting that clutch revive here, that's so important for the team to work together, use those abilities. Here we see our support class Hank with that shield weapon. This is so important. As long as that is on an ally, they will be invulnerable. Keeps your teammates up and in the front of lines.
He can't shield everybody though, J Party, and here's Lazarus with no shield on him. Lazarus goes down. It's down to Support and Assault. A big orbital barrage coming in, doing some damage there. Look at the monster, J Party, down to half a bar of health.
Oh, there's so little health left. He's just out of steam here. These hunters have to pull this victory out here.
Assault goes down. We're down to Hank. Hank could do this with the laser cutter. Here comes the monster. Let's see. Oh no, he gets the leap attack.
And we're jumping right into the action here in an early game of Evolve. We've got Goliath setting out just a little bit ahead of our hunters. I'm Aaron AC Chambers, joined by co-founder of Turtle Rock Studios, Chris Ashton. And just as things get underway here, Chris, talk to me about the early game strategy for Goliath.
Well, he's going to try to get away from the hunters as quickly as possible, and he's also going to try to find food. So first priority is run, second priority is find food. The food's going to give you armor, it's going to allow you to stage up. So right now he's just trying to get distance and food.
And staging up so important. Not only does it make him more tanky, but he gets to place more skill points into all of those abilities he has at his disposal. But right now, he is feeling a little bit weak. We can see all of the hunters have joined the battlefield. Immediately, we're going to see the Trapper drop his sound spike that'll help them track Goliath. But they're not even really going to need it that much, as they've already got a bead on him. We can see his tracks on the ground there. And so as they continue to pursue him out, talk to me, like, obviously Goliath gets a little bit of a start, but you talked to me about the plan so far. Give distance, but how do you deal with knowing that you're going to have all of these hunters barreling down on you in just a moment?
Well, it's kind of the path that he takes. It's being careful where he runs. If he scares birds out of the path, kind of leaving the signs behind. So
would you say subterfuge is a big part of the early game for Goliath?
Sure.
Well, we can see they've actually caught up with him now, and he is being pursued into the jungle, and he is using the foliage to the best of his advantage, taking a little bit out of the way, paths and the sun.
Yeah, it looks like Griffin's peeled off from the rest of the pack, and it's a pretty common tactic for the hunters to use, where the rest of the team flushes the monster out, and Griffin's able to trap him in that mobile arena. So it's a risky move, but a lot of times it pays off, especially in the early stages of the game.
Yeah, it looks like, though, Goliath knows what's going on. And yeah, you can see, if you see the red that he can detect moving around him, he knows that's one of the hunters, and he's probably aware that that's going to be the Trapper. And oh, this creates such a big opportunity for Goliath, though. He's got a bead on him, and he doesn't know it. Oh, he's in trouble and pounced on immediately. And this is one of those risks you run, and it's right at the core of all the mechanics here in Evolve, the fact that as 1, you're just not powerful enough to deal with it. As 4, though, at this stage especially, you can go to town. Now, he's incapacitated but not dead, firing his pistol. They're going to try to get him back up as quickly as he can now. As we see Goliath begin to fight, I mean, is this a fight he really wants to take, or is he just trying to do some damage and eventually create some space?
I think, when he had Griffin down, he had an opportunity there. Anytime you get one guy down, the fights go in your favor, but they picked him back up. So at this point, if I was Goliath, I'd start looking for an opportunity to get out of there, to kind of see how well your offense is going, and if it's not going well, you tend to try to get out.
We can see he is taking a lot of damage, and now that all 4 are up, we can see all of their abilities beginning to synergize. We can see the shielding and the healing coming out from the medic, the shielding coming from the support. We can see our Trapper is getting more and more involved. He's hitting very good harpoons. His harpoons borderline immobilize the Goliath, and he has to deal with those before he can do much of anything else. And of course, our Assault class, who is up front, close and personal, wants to tank the damage and wants to deal as much damage as he can. But it does look like this fight might be winding down soon, as they've just got a beat on him. Yeah, he's going to try to get away now. He got tagged by the medic's tranquilizer dart. He's going to be able to still get away, but you can see those few steps he takes between leaps, he's so slow. It is worn off now, but there's just so many skill shots. And oh, look at the support! Got caught out by one of those native plants on the map. And as we see Goliath try to find some space and something else to eat, talk to me about the design of the map itself and why it plays such a role in such a competitive game.
Well, we wanted it to really be another player in the game, and in a sense, the environment is a third player between the AI and the environment, the carnivorous plants. These things create opportunities for either team to take advantage of.
Oh, and we can see that carnivorous plan has given the Goliath quite an advantage. It allowed him to create some space. They had to bust him out. It slowed the hunters down, and now he's going to rank 2. He's leveling up to stage 2 in his evolution. Oh, he's got such a good high ground position, coming from downtown with a big smash, and that's going to send them scattering. Now it looks like he doesn't want to fight, just wanted to do what damage he could to throw them off base, to get them confused, but we see our Trappers right behind him, helping to slow him down, hitting those harpoons. Let's see if he can catch up with him. Yep, he's got the mobile arena ready to go. Gonna try to toss that out in front of him, then hit him with the harpoon. There he goes, he's let it go, and the leap, not enough! Harpooned him from behind, and now he's trapped. Now this is one of the biggest gameplay mechanics as well, that mobile arena. Talk to me about what that means for both the Goliath player and for the hunter.
For the Goliath, it means he's trapped in there for a certain amount of time. For the hunters, it's an opportunity for them to chew through his armor and to do some permanent damage.
Oh, we can see, the Trapper actually got knocked in the river. Now, I know there's a Tyrant. Yes, the Tyrant down in the river. You have to be so aware of your surroundings in Evolve if you're one of the hunters, as that's actually a one-shot. He's not just down and incapacitated. There's no resuscitating him. That's going to be 2 minutes. He's off of the map entirely as Goliath continues to just run over the rest of his team. What kind of, put it in context for me. How big of a loss is it whenever you lose one of your teammates like that as the hunters?
It's huge. They're designed to be co-op. Each one of them has a very specific function that is vital to their success. So as soon as one guy's out, they're at a huge disadvantage.
And we can see Goliath actually running here, but since they're down a man, how does that change their strategy and how they want to approach Goliath?
Well, they definitely want to be a lot more cautious. If Goliath turns to fight them, he might be able to pull out the win here. So they'll be a little bit more defensive. They'll start anticipating where he's coming. They're not going to chase him as closely as they would normally. They want to keep a beat. They don't want to lose him, right? But they want to not really force the fight themselves. They want to wait till Griffin comes back.
Don't want to take that big of a risk. Now the problem is, we saw they had to stop and deal with that tyrant, otherwise one of them might get snatched. Goliath is actually utilizing one of the best comeback mechanics. We can see how banged up he is. A very nice visual system of damage. He's bruised, he's bloody, and you can't regen health and evolve if you're the monster, but what you can do is feed on wildlife and regen your armor, and that allows you to be just so tanky. And it looks like that's his #1 priority right now, as the hunters just wait on their trapper to get back on the map. But, you know, now that they know that he's coming back in, we see already the mines being laid. Talk to me about the strategy we're seeing employed by the hunters right now.
So they're really just trying to turtle up at the moment. They're trying to wait. Griffin's got 30 seconds to come in, so all they're trying to do is last that 30 seconds before Griffin comes back.
Another big smash, but he's able to corner 2 of them. Now 20 seconds right now, it seems like such a short amount of time, but just look at how much damage the Goliath is doing as they're waiting for him to come back in, and lacking that immobilization means they can't kite him effectively. That's why he's able to charge on top of them, why he's able to bang them down so damn hard. And yep, we're going to see already the medic is down. Nice play from the support though, using the burst stealth ability, that's his class ability. Bought some time for everyone to kind of reset, but they're still hurting. In the meantime though, the trapper's just about to parachute down. The fight's raging on, but talk to me how they're going to try to change this up now that they're back to full strength.
They're just waiting for Griffin to get back in. Assault's going to try to draw his attention. That lightning rifle does a ton of damage, so he'll try to draw the aggro and use his personal shield to negate that a little bit.
And oh, we're actually going to see another incapacitation on the support. Losing the support is just crippling. You know, you don't have the orbital strike that you can call in, you don't have the personal shielding, and this is going to happen when you don't have that. However, with the trapper back in, that's going to give them a chance to maybe kite him, but so far, no good harpoons. He's just continuing to deal massive amounts of damage and run over this team who is once again running at 3/4 strength. We're going to see, yep, potentially another incapacitation. But he's setting up, he's landing another smash, and yep, there we go. One's down, that's going to be the medic, and the Goliath just continuing to pound away, setting up a huge assault on the... No! Oh, you jerks! Cutting the feed at the very last minute. That's not fair, man.
this area, Monitor.
Look to the sky. It scared the birds.
Oh, you want me to step on you, don't you? Well, I ain't going.
Women prowl.
Trap jaw pack. Reaver pack. Anybody got a beer? I think something here.
move to the sky. It scares the birds.
Oh, you want me to step on you, don't you? Well, I ain't gonna. Trap chop!
Putting out mine here.
Albino mutant here.
Watch yourself, Bravest.
Look to the sky. It scared the birds.
Let's interrupt its feeding schedule. Trap back. Reaver back.
behind you. Look to the sky. It's scared of the birds.
Oh, you want me to step on you, don't you? Well, I ain't going.
Wing them from.
Take 2. Let's, interrupt its feeding schedule.
Trap jaw back!
Reaver back!
This thing's going down!
Evolve is it's a first-person, third-person, cooperative, competitive shooter.
It features a giant monster, player-controlled, trying to take down 4 player-controlled hunters.
Everyone takes on a specific role on the team, whether it's trapper, medic, assault, or support. And everyone has their specific job on the team to do.
You know, if one guy isn't sort of holding up his end, the other guys need to let him know, like, hey, I need you, dude.
They drop into the world and immediately their first role is to sort of start hunting this giant monster.
It's kind of like a boss battle, except that the boss may be your friend or it may be some guy that you don't know online. You never know exactly what to expect, and those two teams tee off against each other.
The objective for the hunters is to hunt down the monster, preferably sooner rather than later, because he gets more powerful as time goes on.
Each one of them plays a specific role on the team. You've got Assault, who does a lot of damage to the monster. You've got Medic, whose job is to heal the team and also to try to disable the monster. You've got Trapper, whose job is to hunt down and corral the monster into a single area. And then Support, who's kind of a tactical player who has abilities and weapons that can work defensively and offensively.
They want to find him, capture him, and then ultimately kill him.
So as the monster, you're trying to wipe out the team of the 4 hunters that are after you.
If he meets up with a team of hunters early on and doesn't play his cards right, he's going to go down. Early on, you want to avoid the hunters for as long as possible. And while you're doing that, you're eating. And as you're eating, you're getting more powerful. The more you eat, the more sort of energy you get, and the more energy you get, the sooner you get to evolve into a bigger, more powerful creature.
Eventually, what you'd like to do is get big enough, strong enough that you can turn the tables and you can become the hunter and you can go after the humans.
And that's one of the really intriguing things about playing Evolve in general is this 4 versus 1 boss battle, and you really don't know what anyone's going to do.
Evolve really provides a competitive experience that you're not going to find anywhere else.
There's a lot of multiplayer shooters out there, but this really is a genuinely different take on it.
You get to be a giant monster. Who doesn't want to be a giant monster and smash and eat and shred and kill?
And I think it's that unique sort of experience of blending these cooperative and competitive games that really makes it stand on its own and sort of the experience it offers people.
It's fast, it's tactical, it's a very, very, very unique experience.
And we're jumping right into the action here in an early game of Evolve. We've got Goliath setting up just a little bit ahead of our hunters. I'm Aaron AC Chambers, joined by co-founder of Turtle Rock Studios, Chris Ashton. And just as things get underway here, Chris, talk to me about the early game strategy for Goliath.
Well, he's going to try to get away from the hunters as quickly as possible, and he's also going to try to find food. So first priority is run, second priority is find food. The food's going to give you armor, it's going to allow you to stage up. So right now he's just trying to get distance and food.
And staging up so important. Not only does it make him more tanky, but he gets to place more skill points into all of those abilities he has at his disposal. But right now, he is feeling a little bit weak. We can see all of the hunters have joined the battlefield. Immediately, we're going to see the Trapper drop his sound spike that'll help them track Goliath. But they're not even really going to need it that much, as they've already got a bead on him. We can see his tracks on the ground there. And so as they continue to pursue him out, talk to me, like, obviously Goliath gets a little bit of a start, but you talked to me about the plan so far. Give distance, but how do you deal with knowing that you're going to have all of these hunters barreling down on you in just a moment?
Well, it's kind of the path that he takes. It's being careful where he runs. If he scares birds out of the path, kind of leaving the signs behind. So
would you say subterfuge is a big part of the early game for Goliath?
Sure.
Well, we can see they've actually caught up with him now, and he is being pursued into the jungle, and he is using the foliage to the best of his advantage, taking a little bit out of the way, paths and the sun.
Yeah, it looks like Griffin's peeled off from the rest of the pack, and it's a pretty common tactic for the hunters to use, where the rest of the team flushes the monster out, and Griffin's able to trap him in that mobile arena. So it's a risky move, but a lot of times it pays off, especially in the early stages of the game.
Yeah, it looks like, though, Goliath knows what's going on. And yeah, you can see, if you see the red that he can detect moving around him, he knows that's one of the hunters, and he's probably aware that that's going to be the trapper. And oh, this creates such a big opportunity for Goliath, though. He's got a bead on him, and he doesn't know it. Oh, he's in trouble and pounced on immediately. And this is one of those risks you run, and it's right at the core of all the mechanics here in Evolve. The fact that as 1, you're just not powerful enough to deal with it. As 4, though, at this stage especially, you can go to town. Now, he's incapacitated but not dead, firing his pistol. They're going to try to get him back up as quickly as he can. Now, as we see Goliath begin to fight, I mean, is this a fight he really wants to take, or is he just trying to do some damage and eventually create some space?
I think, you know, when he had Griffin down, he had an opportunity there. Anytime you get one guy down, the fights go in your favor, but they picked him back up. So at this point, if I was Goliath, I'd start looking for an opportunity to get out of there. You kind of see how well your offense is going, and if it's not going well, you tend to try to get out.
We can see he is taking a lot of damage, and now that all 4 are up, we can see all of their abilities beginning to synergize. We can see the shielding and the healing coming out from the medic, the shielding coming from the support. We can see our trapper is getting more and more involved. He's hitting very good harpoons. Those harpoons borderline immobilize the Goliath, and he has to deal with those before he can do much of anything else. And of course, our assault class, who is up front, close and personal, wants to tank the damage and wants to deal as much damage as he can. But it does look like this fight might be winding down soon, as you know, they've just got a beat on him. Yeah, he's going to try to get away now. He got tagged by the medic's tranquilizer dart. He's going to be able to still get away, but you can see those few steps he takes between leaps, he's so slow. It is worn off now, but there's just so many skill shots. And oh, look at the support! Got caught out by one of those native plants on the map. And as we see Goliath try to find some space and something else to eat, talk to me about the design of the map itself and why it plays such a role in such a competitive game.
Well, we wanted it to really be another player in the game, and in a sense, the environment is a third player between the AI and the environment, the carnivorous plants. These things create opportunities for either team to take advantage of.
Well, and we can see that carnivorous plan has given the Goliath quite an advantage. It allowed him to create some space. They had to bust him out. It slowed the hunters down, and now he's going to rank 2. He's leveling up to stage 2 in his evolution. Oh, he's got such a good high ground position, coming from downtown with a big smash, and that's going to send them scattering. Now it looks like he doesn't want to fight, just wanted to do what damage he could to throw them off base, to get them confused, but we see our trappers right behind him, helping to slow him down, hitting those harpoons. Let's see if he can catch up with him. Yep, he's got the mobile arena ready to go. Gonna try to toss that out in front of him, then hit him with the harpoon. There he goes, he's let it go, and the leap, not enough! Harpooned him from behind, and now he's trapped. Now this is one of the biggest gameplay mechanics as well, that mobile arena. Talk to me about what that means for both the Goliath player and for the hunter.
For the Goliath, it means he's trapped in there for a certain amount of time. For the hunters, it's an opportunity for them to chew through his armor and to do some permanent damage.
Oh, we can see, oh, the trapper actually got knocked in the river. Now, I know there's a tyrant. Yes, the tyrant down in the river. You have to be so aware of your surroundings in Evolve if you're one of the hunters, as that's actually a one-shot. He's not just down and incapacitated. There's no resuscitating him. That's going to be 2 minutes. He's off of the map entirely as Goliath continues to just run over the rest of his team. What kind of, I mean, put it in context for me. How big of a loss is it whenever you lose one of your teammates like that as the hunters?
It's huge. They're designed to be co-op. Each one of them has a very specific function that is vital to their success. So as soon as one guy's out, they're at a huge disadvantage.
And we can see Goliath's actually running here, but since they're down a man, how does that change their strategy and how they want to approach Goliath?
Well, they definitely want to be a lot more cautious. If Goliath turns to fight them, he might be able to pull out the win here. So they'd be a little bit more defensive. They'll start anticipating where he's coming. They're not going to chase him as closely as they would normally. They want to keep a bead. They don't want to lose him, right? But they want to not really force the fight themselves. They want to wait till Griffin comes back.
Don't want to take that big of a risk. Now the problem is, we saw they had to stop and deal with that tyrant, otherwise one of them might get snatched. Goliath is actually utilizing one of the best comeback mechanics. We can see how banged up he is. A very nice visual system of damage. He's bruised, he's bloody, and you can't regen health in Evolve if you're the monster, but what you can do is feed on wildlife and regen your armor, and that allows you to be just so tanky. And it looks like that's his #1 priority right now, as the hunters just wait on their trapper to get back on the map. But, you know, and now that they know that he's coming back in, we see already the mines being laid. Talk to me about the strategy we're seeing employed by the hunters right now.
So they're really just trying to turtle up at the moment. They're trying to wait. Griffin's got 30 seconds to come in, so all they're trying to do is last that 30 seconds before Griffin comes back.
Another big smash, but He's able to corner 2 of them. Now 20 seconds right now, it seems like such a short amount of time, but just look at how much damage the Goliath is doing as they're waiting for him to come back in, and lacking that immobilization means they can't kite him effectively. That's why he's able to charge on top of them, why he's able to bang them down so damn hard. And yep, we're going to see already the medic is down. Nice play from the support, though, using the burst stealth ability, that's his class ability. Bought some time for everyone to kind of reset, but they're still hurting. In the meantime, though, the Trapper's just about to parachute down. The fight's raging on, but talk to me how they're going to try to change this up now that they're back to full strength.
They're just waiting for Griffin to get back in. Assault's going to try to draw his attention. That lightning rifle does a ton of damage, so he'll try to draw the aggro and use his personal shield to negate that a little bit.
And oh, we're actually going to see another incapacitation on the support. Losing the support is just crippling. You know, you don't have the orbital strike that you can call in, you don't have the personal shielding, and this is going to happen when you don't have that. However, with the Trapper back in, that's going to give them a chance to maybe kite him, but so far, no good harpoons. He's just continuing to deal massive amounts of damage and run over this team who is once again running at 3/4 strength. We're going to see, yep, potentially another incapacitation. But he's setting up, he's landing another smash, and yep, there we go. One's down, that's going to be the medic, and the Goliath just continuing to pound away, setting up a huge assault on the no! Oh, you jerks! Cutting the feed at the very last minute. That's not fair, man.